Hi guys, we're back again for another episode of the Queen and Lee Show. On today's episode, we will be talking about
death. We always talk about life, but death is a part of life. It's something that we have to accept. Sometimes we don't understand it, but it definitely is something we need to accept. That is a part of life. According to psychcentral.com, the 5 stages of grief and loss, and this is what we're going to be talking about, is denial and isolation. Number 2 is anger. Number 3 is bargaining. Number 4 is depression. Number 5 is acceptance. Now, people who are grieving do not always go through all the stages, or do they go through them in the same order as what I've read to you, but these are definitely stages where someone is dealing with death.
well, maybe we'll just go through each phase and just give a little bit of our opinion or on it.
The denial and isolation to me usually comes, well, when I've had to deal with it, within the first maybe few hours of getting that information, because your brain is processing, whether it's someone older or younger, like it doesn't really matter. Somebody can be like 198 years old and you would still be shocked and like it wasn't their time to go, or I don't understand, or let me just get a minute to myself to try to understand what's going on. So to me, in my personal experience, the denial and isolation usually comes in the first stage, the first understanding of a person being leaving us from this planet. The second stage would be anger. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yes, anger. For us, we have experienced death more than one time in our lives, unfortunately. And anger is definitely one of the things. For some people, it comes right away. For some people, it comes years later or months later. And anger is when you say things like, why did this person have to leave me? Why did somebody do whatever they did to hurt them? Stuff like cancer is like a big thing. You just get so angry, like, why can't they find a cure for it? Or, sometimes we get upset or get angry with our spiritual or whoever we believe in. And we say, why would they let this happen? Or sometimes, why did somebody make a decision to let this person go before and I don't feel like they should have. And a lot of times the anger can sometimes spill out onto the people who are alive around you.
Right.
And not so much so that maybe you are angry directly at a person, but your anger, if not controlled, can make someone else feel very uncomfortable.
Well, that goes into the third stage that they say everybody does not go through all these stages, but these are the most, recognizable stages. And the other one was bargaining, which she touched on, basically, and she touched on it, talking about the spiritual deity as denoted at the same website that I was looking at, psychcentral.com. It was saying that this is the normal reaction when we're talking about bargaining to feelings of helplessness and vulnerability. Usually thoughts like, if we only had sought medical attention sooner, if only we got a second opinion from another doctor, if we only had to try to be a better person towards that person. Like a lot of times we think, whether it's a person going through, something toward the end of their lifespan as far as age, we should have spent more time with so-and-so.
Yes.
Maybe if her kids hadn't have been this way, she would have lived longer, and if we wouldn't have stressed her out or stressed him out, or
And like I said, like one of the most famous ones, we should have found this out sooner. We should have went to a better doctor.
Which is equivalent to guilt, like guilt that accompanies the same situation. Go ahead. I wasn't trying to steal your thunder there, but I would just.
No, I was about to say the same thing, along with what he was saying about the guilt. Guilt can literally kill you. of holding on to guilt that I should have did better. I should have known. I should have checked on that person. So many times people are found in homes, passed away in maybe a week or two because, everybody has a life and they was busy, and you feel the guilt like, I should have called more. I should have stopped by. I should have lived closer. All this stuff does play into it, but at the end of the day, everybody has their expiration date.
They got their punch out.
And no matter what we do here on earth or not, their day is still going to come. And as hard as that is, it's easy to say it, but it's very hard to deal with it, because sometimes you have all these unanswered questions. A major thing for me for death is, in life, we should make sure that we're being honest, consistent, and open, and really as transparent as we can with our loved ones. Because once you're gone from here, to know if you loved me, or to know if you care, or to know why you lived the life the way you live, those questions can never be answered. And I think it's very important with your kids, even with your parents. Just because your parents are older and you're younger doesn't mean that you don't need to express what you feel about them while they're here.
I agree.
And vice versa, of course.
The other step is depression. It talks about 2 types of depression on the same website. The first one is a reaction to practical implications relating to the loss. Example, sadness and regret. We worry about the cost of the burial. We worry in our grief about the time that we had spent. But they said this phase may be eased by simple clarification and reassurance. Now, let me just move forward so that I don't get stuck here. The second type of depression that is usually experienced, it's more subtle. It is our quiet preparation to separate and to bid our loved one farewell. Sometimes all we really need is a hug at that point. So, I have experienced that too. I'm very transparent about my feelings. I really don't care what people think about me, in that aspect. You need to be clear where you are in your spiritual walk. And I'm not talking about religion at this point. I'm talking about your spirit. You need to be very clear. Oh, I am hurt because of this. I am sad because of this. I am angry because of this. I was just speaking to some young men the other day, and I was saying the difference between me younger and the difference between me and older is when I was younger, anger was put on everything. You can move with anger. Let's just be honest. When you're angry, I'll speak for myself. When I was angry throughout life for things,
that's one some of your best tools for motivation. Although it's not always good and it's not healthy to have anger as a motivational tool, but it definitely will forge you ahead, at least from our experience.
Well, that's because
our experience it did.
Because generally, when you are a decent person and you're angry, you're not looking to destroy anybody or destroy property or rob or kill. You are just really, anger is really just an emotion. And when I realized I was angry, I didn't want it to spew out on my wife or my kids or anybody that I'm around, so close proximity to me. So what I would do is I would turn it into something better. I would make sure I work out more, or I would take more walks, or if you're creative, you create more content, whether it's videos, whether it's art of any type, whether it's music, whether it's painting, culinary arts. You might cook way more and you're just giving food away because you cooked all of it and you're angry, but you're utilizing it
in a positive
way. And that's what I've done most of my life. But the problem is the people on the outside are benefiting from your anger. If it's cooking meals, that means your entire family will be eating for months in advance because you have prepared meals. But what happens on the inside when you're negating that? It's chewing you up.
It's chewing you up, and it catches up to you. It's almost like a bank. It stores up over time, and one day, that's why you have these strange outbursts, and we look at it as, oh, this person is crazy, saying stuff like that, with lack of understanding. And when really, you don't know what it really is. It's not always mental health, but it is mental health in a way of, not that I have a disorder or something like that, but that my mental health is not
Needs to be checked up.
stable
Needs
and
to
it's
be
not
addressed.
good. So then I have an outburst, an explosion, a breakdown.
You know, and
everybody don't care about what's happening in your world.
Right.
So it's perceived in a bad way, and you may find a postal person that goes postal and all that, not giving any excuse for that, because you know, a heinous crime is a heinous crime, or to hurt someone is just beyond
there's
that.
usually a reason why. People just don't wake up and go postal. Like,
but you have to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I am depressed. I am sad. I am angry. I am
hurt.
I do feel guilt. I feel so guilty that, you know, some people get suffocated by guilt to the point where you start doing stuff that doesn't even make sense because you're so guilty of someone's death until you overdo it with the people who are alive. And so you just feel like you have to do way more than you should. And that can turn out not so good.
Overtaxing.
Yes.
You're overtaxing yourself. You're probably overtaxing the people, because let's just say you do feel guilty and you go over my house every day for 30 days straight because you feel guilty. Well,
and you're so terrified, or you give yourself a paranoia of, I'm going to make sure I'm going to never let a person pass away and I don't know, or I'm going to stay up on this person. You almost smother the person, you smother your kids, you're taking everybody to the doctor. We do get that paranoia in our head and in our minds, like, let me just make sure everything is good, and I'm going to do these crazy surgeries, elective surgeries to take things away because I don't want to make sure that it doesn't happen to me. And you know, it can be an obsession, and that can also turn into an issue. And again, these things can all come out of someone close to you passing away, and not understanding where to go to seek for help. A lot of times in many different cultures and many different races, going to a psychologist doesn't make sense. You know, sometimes you do need more than just going to your local pastor or your family member who's a matriarch of the family. Maybe you need an outside source. Everybody is different, and sometimes you need a person who doesn't know you to talk to, a counselor, not always a psychiatrist. You know, maybe a psychologist. You don't know. You may just need someone to speak to you and just hear what you're saying, because sometimes it's not always about someone giving you an answer. Sometimes it's about somebody just hearing what you feel and hearing your pain.
I was reviewing my notes while she was talking at the end, and then the final stage was acceptance. And that's usually the stage I just try to rush to, but you can't rush to these steps. They actually happen according to your character traits and I believe your abilities over time. But I consistently work on acceptance of things, period, throughout the course of my lifespan. Most recently, we've gone to more electronics at the job, and it was a job that was built on paper and pen and typewriters for the longest, and computer and data entry. And now the job is really being taken over more and more by computers and decision making.
Actually, the whole world. I mean, everything. You can't even go to the local corner market and get an application. You have to go online.
Right. But the thing that was bothering me was not necessarily, and you're absolutely correct, but that's probably part of where my problem was. It wasn't just specific to my job, but I'm kind of a person that is task specific, so I'm not looking at everybody else and what everybody else has going on. That's probably one of my better abilities to reduce stress, but perhaps if I looked at it globally, maybe I would have not been as aggravated, but it still wouldn't have mattered because it was personal to me. Right. I'm going to this job and we're doing it the old school way for the longest, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, and that was the problem. I wasn't accepting all along, much like we can do with death, that we're moving to a different space. We're getting older. Like, I look in the mirror and I look at pictures, and you can even see the pictures that come on this show. Those are early pictures when we first got married. We looked like kids. We weren't kids. I was 26 when we got married. Was it 26?
I'm not sure. 20 something. I'm not sure. I always say 23, but you like. I
was 24 when I got married, and then 24 and 26 don't look much difference, but in those earlier pictures, you can see we're all dying. We're just dying daily. You know, it's like a clock. You were born to die, essentially. You come here and your clock starts when you hear that first baby cry. It sounds sad, but it's not really sad. It's just a part of life. You just got to suck it up. You know, nobody likes to hear that, but that's what acceptance is.
No, but see, so a part of that is go ahead.
Acceptance by definition. Unfortunately, everybody doesn't reach acceptance. For me, I talk tough to myself, like, you know, Lee, suck it up. This is what we have. You can't change it, no matter what you do, no matter what you do to a person that is out of here, you can't bring them back. You know, no matter what you do before, you can't stop them from. You can make them comfortable. You can make them know that you love them more, but
you can find peace with it, because that's something that we see, you know, movies sometime. I can't remember what this movie was years ago. I probably should have run up because I can't even remember the name of the movie that I'm speaking of. But this lady, like, prepared her family. She did videos and she talked to her kids and she, like, made peace with people. You know, all of us don't get that opportunity to know that death is coming. You know, but if you had that opportunity, that is your time. Like, if a person is calling for you to speak to you, a lot of times it happens literally on people's deathbed. They want to say their final words to people, you know. But if you know that you have an illness or a sickness and you know that it's happening, you know, that might be a good time to try your best. For me, I would try my hardest to prepare for my family for me not being here. I mean, even down to the smallest things of taking and leaving recipes and stuff like that.
But I always
because those are the things that people look back to and
well, I'm glad she said that. I've been beating her up about writing recipes down, because guess what? You can find out tomorrow that you got some ills. Now you got to go back. I believe in blah blah blah. I believe in preparation or preparing without even having the knowledge base. And when I talk to my kids on a regular basis, I tell them, Daddy's not going to always be here, so let's go ahead and enjoy this time. And then they get this little watery eye looking like, listen, I didn't say I was dying tomorrow, but in reality, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
We don't. And it is something that he does a lot. I tell him, like, guys, you guys got to learn this stuff, you know. Not that I'm trying to rush you, but focus sometime and listen to what I'm saying, because one day, all you're going to have of your loved one is something they may have told you. And sometimes that stuff is the major things that help you make it through days, you know.
I tell people all the time, my biggest thing that I say is wrong with humans is the two problems that the pots fall into is either acceptance or understanding. Now, we understand death is imminent. It's definitely, it's it. That's pretty much it. But what we don't do is accept it most of the time.
Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be messing with my hair, sorry. I hate when I have my hair down. It just feels like it's bugs or something. I mean, I know I'll be interrupted in the middle of the video, but, you know, my hair was bothering me. It's itching me, so I'll keep touching it. Sorry about that.
I was done my section. I wasn't even going to say anything about her hair.
Well, I could see him, like, watching me, so I don't know. Maybe he wasn't, but he always saying, leave your hair alone. But when it's down, it just, I don't know.
See, I don't understand that, but I'm accepting that she's gonna do that. And we're not editing this out because we want you to know how Queen and Lee operate on a daily basis.
This is how we are. This is how we are. You know, guys, we working to make this thing more relaxing. There's more.
Yeah, that's
the more
what
videos
this is about.
we'll do, we'll get more relaxed, and we just feel comfortable. And
I'm already relaxed.
We don't want to make it stuffy like a regular talk show. We want to just make it a nice, cool, relaxing conversation. You know,
right? Well,
bonfire talking, that kind of stuff. That sounded weird the way I said that. That's cool.
No, I get
bonfire. No,
bonfire.
I don't know why I said it like that.
She's crazy, people. That's what it is. Bonfire. So when you go to work today and your boss get on you, just say bonfire.
No, don't say that.
Well,
now that bonfire can be taken to somebody say bonfire. Next thing you know,
I
your whole
say
job.
Bomb. Bonna.
Right, but say something like that and trying to explain it to somebody like telecoms. I didn't mean to say bomb.
Well, hopefully
I said bomb.
Hopefully your boss knows that you don't really mean. Anywho,
yeah,
that goes into understanding.
That
goes into understanding a person. If I say bonfire, they would laugh at me because they already think I'm crazy, and I just like to have fun anyway. But
if I said bonfire, nobody would hear me because there's nobody at my work but me.
On
All right,
that
guys, as you
note,
can see, I'm jokey today, but
on that note,
you have to be jokey because this is a very, very serious conversation, guys. It's just something that really to think about. And changing the subject just a tad, but still dealing with death, guys. You know, a lot of times we aren't prepared in a way of what happens if I get in a tragic car accident and I'm on a respirator, I can't breathe on my own, and they're saying there's nothing else you can do. Who's going to make that decision for me? Am I going to leave that to my children, who could be very young, to make that decision? Am I going to leave it to the doctors because I don't have nobody around? Am I going to leave that on my spouse, for my spouse to say, without no medical education in that way, to say, is this a good idea or not? You know, doctors, you got minutes or days maybe to even make a decision like that, to try to take somebody off a respirator. You don't know. You don't have time to research and all that and process it in a
systematic.
Right, or even in a logical way to say, let me do my research and let me ask other doctors. You don't have time for that. So that is a question. That's just something to really think of. Who are you going to leave responsible to make the decision if it was to ever happen? Or is it something that you should make sure that you leave something in writing and says what happens? You know, how do you want your final your funeral to be? Do you want doves and do you want marching bands? Yeah, I would. Do you want
Do you want to be cremated and not have anything at all, and have somebody quietly spread your ashes in the ocean that you love so much?
Although we know that's not illegal in New Jersey, but hey, we're not telling people to do nothing illegal.
Well, I'm just saying, there is somebody somewhere who requested something specific. It didn't have to be that.
I mean, that just was an example. No, I just was making a note, letting people know that is illegal to spread ashes around. Although we see it in movies and stuff oftentimes. You're not really supposed to do that.
You're right.
Now we go to an awkward silence. I don't know.
No, the thought that I was completing was whatever is specific that you want done. I was complimenting her, saying, make sure you write it down. That was really it. I was really done, but she jumped in to tell you about the legality issues of spreading ashes, but I wasn't necessarily saying do or not do something legal or illegal. I'm just saying whatever you have, make sure you write it down and people know what's going on, because that little bit of TV that you had, that was an antique. People will be fighting over it because people are unique in that way. Mom would have wanted me to have it. Dad would have wanted me to have it. Sister would have wanted me to have it. Well, none of these people wrote down who should have what, so now it's left to, I'm the kind of person where if it's going to be anger, strife, and attitude, you can have it all. You can't take away my memories of that person, and I'm good. Like, I'm the guy who doesn't want anything from anybody if they pass away, because I'm already probably angry that you're gone, but that's not really the case. Sometimes there is estates and money of large amounts left, and that could be life-changing for somebody, and somebody come in and say, I'm taking it. Well, wait a minute. We both were siblings, or we both were caretakers, or we both were. So, to sum it up in summation, just do, like the Queen said, go ahead and try to think about these things in advance and try to get them documented. Even if you document it, you could document it on a napkin and have somebody notarize it, get a notary to do it. That's considered
that's something.
A document, you know.
It's better to have something than to have nothing at all.
I mean, I've been talking about even just making a Microsoft doc and signing it and putting it in my house till I can get. I have a lawyer friend that keeps telling me, when are you going to come down? It's just a little bit morbid and final to me to go ahead and do that, but that's something I need to do. But I have only 2 sons, and I have my wife, so whatever Queen says, that's how it goes down anyway. So, so with that being said, you have anything else final?
No final words. But guys, you know, after this, we're going to have a short little music by Lee, as we always do. Don't forget to go and watch the rest of our episodes. If you don't see it on a channel 115 in the Long Island, New York area, you can go to Queen of Trades 1234 on YouTube and see them all in a row.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Bye.
Death has no power. Just remember that. Death, you have no power. You ain't the boss. You arrive when time tells you to. You too shall disappear. Even you have fear. You've taken friends, you've taken kids, you've taken parents. Even you move on time. Like a parrot, you repeat and do what another tells you. Even you will be carried by a chariot. Your time is winding down. I've watched smiles become frowns, and I've witnessed you take the strong to the ground. But it's not over. For just a moment, we've all felt weak. We shall see our loved ones, and it won't be while we sleep. Death, your time is growing nigh, and to our loved ones, there'll be no more goodbyes. Let's go one more time. Death, you have no power. You ain't the boss. You arrive when time tells you. You too shall disappear. Even you have fear. You've taken friends, kids, and parents. Even you move on time. Like a parrot, you repeat and do what another tells you. Even you will be carried by a chariot. Your time is winding down. I watch smiles become frowns, and I've witnessed you take the strong to the ground. But it's not over. For just a moment, we've all felt weak. We shall see our loved ones, and it won't be while we sleep. Death, your time is growing nigh, and to our loved ones, there'll be no more goodbyes. Death has no power. Remember that.